This is the first video from Chapter 23, Systems of Linear Equations. I will not do example 268 because I did that in class yesterday. So see the video from the class 4/20/20 and you will see example 268 worked out in 4 different ways. What I am going to do in this video is example 271 and 272. I did not write down the systems of equations themselves since you have the notes in front of you, but we can see from the matrix what the first equation was, for example. X sub 1 minus x sub 2 minus x sub 3 plus x sub 4 is equal to 0. And so we looked at our system of linear equations and we made the augmented matrix. The first part of this, the 4 by 4, is the coefficient matrix. And then we have the constant terms on the right side of the equal signs, is what this last column represents. So we take our augmented matrix, we put it in reduced row echelon form. That produces this matrix. Now remember, row operations do not change the solutions. And so the system that's represented by this matrix and the system represented by this matrix are equivalent systems. And the system represented by this matrix is nice to read. So we have x sub 1 is equal to 2. X sub 2 is equal to negative 1. X sub 3 is equal to 3. X sub 4 is equal to 2. And so solving this equation was really just a matter of putting the augmented matrix in reduced row echelon form. Example 272, we'll use the same technique. Example 272, we had 5 variables. And again, I did not take time to write down the system itself, but you have that in your notes. But for example, x sub 1 plus x sub 2 plus x sub 3 plus x sub 4 plus x sub 5 is equal to 1. So we take our augmented matrix and we put it in reduced row echelon form and it produces this matrix. Again, the system of equations represented by this augmented matrix and this augmented matrix are the same. That is true for every step in between as well. Okay, now what system does this represent, however? Well, we see that we have no solution to this system. Why is that? That's because the last 2 rows represent an equation 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 is equal to 1. There are no 5 variables that are going to represent this equation. So there are no 5 variables that are a solution here. And so this system of equations has no solution. I want to remind you of what I told you in class yesterday. Every system of linear equations has 0, 1, or infinitely many solutions. Those are your only 3 possibilities. This system had exactly 1 solution. This system has 0 solutions. Some systems will have infinitely many solutions.